Is it working now? Hmm. Can someone put like a comment in the chat or something? Make sure that this is working now. Because, oops. Let's see. Yeah, if you're joining me now, I've been streaming for a little bit, but the uh, the settings were off. Oops, because I was having to mess with everything, and the privacy settings were off, so I wasn't messing with everybody. Oops. So can someone put in like a comment in the chat or something? Not. Let me see. That was stupid. Hmm? Thank you. And what's funny is I got Pepsi right here. Man. God, that was stupid. Let me see if I can't pull up what I had. Is this? Sorry about that. Well, if you're joining me now, basically, first off, sorry for the delay. I thought I was streaming, and the privacy settings were messed up because I was having to mess with the editor, and I'm still new to this, don't know what's going on still, yada yada yada. So I've been sitting here talking to myself for a minute. Yeah. I am definitely not the smartest. So let me pull up a few of these things that I pulled out because I want to show you guys a few things. And let's see. Why? Where? Let me. Sorry, I'm trying to get it all together now. But basically, if you watched my stream last night, the plan was that if you are too far on that side, to kind of bring you back and keep you on the table, right? Because I don't want to lose any of my friends to any of this stupid stuff, right? It's just not worth it. It's not right. And honestly, I missed you guys, you know? And it sucks. I don't want to deal with all these things that we're all feeling, and it just sucks, right? So there's a few videos that I want to pull up, and everything is giving me trouble right now. So, because I had them pulled up, you know what? Let me just, I'm just going to pull up my previous stream that I had. I should be able to do that, right? So I'm not just saying the same thing 10 and a half times. All right. I knew something was going on. So let me just get to this. All right. So if you're still with me, day 3 of the stream, thank you. I am absolutely loving this. This is turning into, especially for being as isolated as I am right now, it's nice. I don't feel as alone, you know? So I'm really enjoying it, and there's a lot more people involved with this than I ever would have expected. There's a few things I want to pull up from some friends. Tonight's going to be different. Last night was kind of a presentation, like I said, to a lot of my friends, that with everything that's been going on and everyone's so divided, I still want you to be within that community, that family that I have. You know, I know everyone's got their own lives, their own circles and everything like that, but if you're watching this, you're probably a part of mine, right? Even if we haven't talked in years, I'm still watching out for you and making sure that you're good. And I've had a lot of people come to me and say, hey, you good? And vice versa, right? We may not talk for years at a time, but it doesn't matter, right? I'm still... Epstein didn't kill himself. For, man, people come out of the woodworks for this, right? My comments are still messed up, so I am still trying to figure this out. But I'm just going to play the stream of me basically talking to myself for the last like 15 minutes so that you guys can see what I was watching and what I was trying to get the point across, yada, yada, yada. Tonight is going to be more of a updates on everything. And it's going to be some feel goods and some funnies, but really it's a lot of, if you stuck it through my video last night and you were pulled back, you shouldn't be offended by anything that we're going to talk about, right? Any of the videos. Hopefully it's more of that, oh my God, that's what I was supporting, right? And with that, I do want to get back into the answering questions and talking and back into everything that normally happens, right? Everything that I want to get into. So last night was more of a one-off. So with that being said, again, comments I'm still having some trouble with. Seeing the chat, as you can see down here, I still can't get it right. So let's get into it. So, yes, let's just get right into it. There's been a lot of anger and a lot of retaliation. The first video kind of sums up how I think everyone's feeling right now. Let's get into it. The first video kind of sums up how I think everyone's feeling right now. So, reason I'm bringing this video up is because, from what it looks like, obviously, little kid, everyone that's been getting away with everything they've been able to do and say, no repercussions whatsoever. And for maybe what, 10 years? 10 years or something like that? It's absolutely insane. Many of us have been terrified to say or even like behind closed doors say how we think or how we feel about things. And the people that are now worried about losing their jobs and everything like that. And like I said last night, unprofessional people don't deserve to be in professional positions. So I don't feel bad. I really don't. Especially if, you know, you did give me the chance and you gave me the chance and you watched my video last night and you're still unconvinced. I'm not sure how convincing it was, but I tried. So if you're still celebrating and still excited and still happy, I think this is your future, one way or another. Although, yeah, I'm pretty sure the big brother didn't beat him up, but you know what I mean. Just that oh shit moment. I messed up. People are learning what it's like to have repercussions. So, this is a video that I've loved for quite a while, and I thought you guys might want to see it too.
Thank you all for meeting with me. You're all doing some wonderful work destroying the world, but I think it's probably time for us to reevaluate.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption, but I think we're in the wrong meeting. We're not here to destroy the world. We're here to save it. You see, we are some of the leading leaders of liberal causes, and I'm with the Human Rights Campaign, who focus on LGBTQ plus and trans rights. You see, I have an equal sign to let you know that I'm a good person.
Oh, excuse me, women's reproductive rights.
Climate.
Free Palestine.
Open borders. I misspoke before. You guys are not destroying the world, okay? You are saving the world.
Whoa, what's up with those scare quotes?
Pretty sure I didn't use scare quotes when I said saving the world.
Again.
The important thing to keep in mind is that there's a big election coming up, and you and I, we're all on the same page, okay? So if we want Biden to win, he needs to win in order for us to save the world. If we want Biden to win, you folks, how can I say this? You might need to tone it down just.
Tone down what?
Oh, that's a good question. You're women's reproductive rights, right? Okay. Excellent branding, by the way. It's much easier on the ears than baby murder. So kudos to you on that one. But opposing any restrictions all the way through to the 9th month, I mean, you see how you're kind of tipping your hand, right? Makes people think, wait, maybe they actually want to kill babies. And we do, obviously.
No, we don't.
Oh,
No, we don't.
we don't. Right. We don't. But you see how it can kind of look that way. So that's all I'm saying. You know, let's tone it down. And you, immigration, clearly we don't want a completely open border that undermines any sense of national sovereignty, driving down wages for the working class and overtaxing the welfare state. So let's go a bit easy there too. I mean, why not something like this? Why not something like diversity is our...
Are you trying to say diversity is our strength?
Yes! How do you say that without laughing? Oh my gosh. I can't even get through it. This is head and moi. My sides. My goodness. Okay, what about you? Pro-Palestine. You are, I'm going to say this. You're kind of coming across like you just want to wipe Israel off the map and kill all the Jews.
We do want to wipe Israel off the map and kill all the Jews.
Of course, yes, and that's awesome. I'm all for that. I love that. But you need to pretend like you don't want to wipe Israel off the map and kill all the Jews.
Why?
Excuse me?
I mean, we're pretty clear in our position, and most young people and everyone on college campuses, and half the Democratic Party, of course, still support us.
Yeah, it's cool now.
You may have a point there. You might be the only person in here that can be as evil as you want to be and get away with it. All right, still, let's think about tactics. Okay, do you think that occupying bridges and blocking traffic is somehow winning people over to your cause?
Yeah, and making people hate us by blocking traffic is our thing. He's stealing our thing.
You're not stealing your thing. You must die. We will kill you all.
See, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, okay, I love the homicidal thing that you got going on there. I really dig it, okay? But maybe market it just a little bit differently. Like the serial killer that everyone thinks is such a sweet guy, you know? He's got 27 bodies in the basement, but he's like, coaching Little League. That's what I want. Be that guy.
Death to America.
You know, the funny thing is, you don't even look Middle Eastern. Am I wrong, people? Am I wrong?
I'm not. I actually grew up on Long Island, but my parents sent me to college. Death to America.
HRC guy. You have been going over the top as well.
Well, it's important for us, they, them, to be accepted just like everyone else.
Yes, of course. And convincing people that they're intolerant for not wanting men to get naked in women's locker rooms. I guess that's genius. I mean, come on, it's next level stuff. All right, but insisting that your children be mutilated. I mean, come on, it's turning people off, you guys. I mean, not everyone, obviously, but until the election, can we just all pretend for a few months not to be crazed, lunatic, homicidal extremists?
No, it's my body, my Donald J. Trump.
You will obey me. Sorry. Glad we're all on the same page, though.
So, if you don't know, Babylon B, they're still out there. They're still making a lot of really good stuff. I didn't know I wasn't subscribed. And they actually have had to make another page called Not the Bee because of just the absolute lunacy that's out there. That sounds like something that they would make up, but it's not. So it's just pretty great. No, a little bit more.
So, how do you do it? You know? When I do evil stuff, it seems like nobody likes me. When you do it, everyone finds you sympathetic.
Well, see, my people are oppressed victims. So we can rape, murder, and call for genocide, and it's pretty much totally justified.
Well done, Ahmed. Well done.
Hey, you!
I love the Babylon Bee. They're so great. So here's another one. I kind of just want to do some feel goods tonight, especially if you're just here hanging out, because I think we need some feel good. I'm wrong. I'm an idiot. This was not one of the feel goods. Just so you know. Don't listen to this guy. He's stupid. Some hurt, but
Charlie Kirk presidency 15 years from now?
No.
No?
No. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
enjoying myself, but this is going to get really nasty. Everyone listen to this. I just hope you understand. They're going to be coming after us. They're going to be following us in the middle of the night. They're going to be breaking into our houses. You think I'm joking. They
No,
are going
it's
to
gonna
be
happen.
violent. That you will not be able to walk the streets of the MAGA hat without your physical health be put in jeopardy. And I hope it doesn't get that way. I hope that this clip gets unearthed and everything's like wonderful. I hope that the country comes together and we have a beautiful Unitarian healing moment in September.
Man called it. This is a pretty big one. I didn't see this myself. I've just been seeing this in a few different posts, and it got sent to me. So I can't tell you if this came out 5 days ago, a year ago. But I know that, if I'm correct, Jasmine Crockett is a congresswoman. I'm not sure where out of. But the posts have all been from today. So I'm assuming that this clip came from today or yesterday or something like that. So I don't remember if I talked about it or not, so I'm just going to say this beforehand. I don't, because I always advocate for the context. In most cases, the context makes this worse. I don't know about this one. I don't know if it fits with everything that we think that they're talking about. It fits, especially when I've heard this person talk many times before. It is a completely believable statement. So I'm just putting that out there. I think this is the most, if somebody can find the entire thing, the entire interview, send it to me. I couldn't find it. But let me turn myself.
But this is a war. This isn't a battle. And we absolutely will win this war.
It is a war. It is indeed a war. And I have to say, they have won some battles, Jasmine, but we have to keep our eye on the war, and everybody needs to pick up a weapon and get involved, because this is for the safety and lasting of the country. And everybody needs to pick up a weapon.
What I know is that if that's the way that you're feeling, and they are hardcore. They are the extremes on the left. If you're one of them, I'm telling you that's not something you want. I've had a few friends put up posts Okay. After that is when I realized that I'm an idiot. So, so the reason that I bring that video up, right? I've had multiple friends write posts, and I've even talked to a few in person where it seems like it's like they're threatening themselves with, or they're imagining situations which, you know, how especially like guys we'll be in the shower and we will just be thinking about all the different situations and saving the princess, and I can take on the 13 ninjas like in Dumb and Dumber. Actually, the Dumb and Dumber, the first movie when he's in the restaurant fighting all the ninjas and everything like that, is a perfect example of how a lot of us think. It is if you don't understand, I'm telling you, that one scene is literally how we think. And I'm pretty sure that some of the guys in the chat, please agree. If you know what I'm talking about, you should be able to agree to that, right? But I have had a lot of friends who it seems, and it could be that they're talking to people on the internet, and you'll find everything on the internet, right? But they feel like they're being threatened by our side, right? And there's been posts and videos and clips and things like that of my friends, people that I personally know, saying things along the lines of, you know, just because we're liberals doesn't mean we don't know how to shoot too. I can shoot 300 yards too. I have guns too. And I'm telling you right now, like, if that's the way that you're feeling, it's not the argument that you think it is. Right? It's just not. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, how do I say this without going too far into detail? Within my circle, there has been cryptic messaging towards people like me. And it would fall in line with the post that I'm talking about. Right? I personally haven't, thankfully. I don't know if this is still... Am I having a technical issue again? Can someone put a comment in chat or something? I'm seeing multiple things on my end. If you're making posts like that and that's the way that you're thinking, and you think that you're being threatened from people on our side, it's not our side. We don't agree with those people. They aren't ours. If you're seeing people that are talking like that, they're not us. If you're having people threaten you, they're not us. Because that's just not what we do, right? So, with that being said, I want to put up a few more things. Let's see. Move. Oh, wrong one. Put you back. All right. On to the next. And I was seeing a lot of these videos and everything like that as well, but I couldn't find the video itself when I was trying to bring it up for this, right? So, yeah, it's another streamer's video. Sorry. I'm doing the best I can. Let's see.
Liberals, you need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just rise on stage. What the fuck is this shit, man? Slice them up. Slice them and fucking dice them. What the fuck is this? You cannot have a bigger fucking layup. You could not have had a bigger fucking layup than a horrible candidate like Herschel Walker.
What?
So, especially because I'm trying to... This is not any kind of news for anybody that likes to stay in the know, right? I understand that. I'm not showing these videos to you. I'm showing these videos to the people that don't get information. They don't really watch YouTube. They don't pay attention to everything that's going on. This guy right here, bottom right. If you don't know, he is basically the left's main political speaker. He is the biggest streamer, right? And he comes off as very nice, very pleasant when he comes out to functions and talks to other people and things like that, right? And he prevents pretty well. But this, I've seen the clip. It doesn't seem out of context at all. That is the context. And you can find many, many, many same stances, same everything as what I just showed, right? This is what's being advocated. And remember, this is like the biggest influencer. A lot of younger people watch him. A lot watch him. So this guy has tons of influence. Tons of influence. And these are his views. Now, the reason that I'm bringing this up first is because of the next video. You're going to see Cenk Uygur, who is his uncle from the Young Turks. And it's definitely an interesting talk, and hence why that first video of the kid throwing the ping pong battle, right? Because it's a small taste of medicine that they're getting a small bit of what's been going on for like last 10 to 12 years. But we still got more on this.
Sure, he was prepared very well. And Herschel Walker actually had
what's
a
that?
good
thing we do need to make sure we do. We got to keep attracting younger viewers that, grow up on TikTok, when they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, even though they shouldn't be.
3, it's like all here. Now this guy is down. He's dead. These guys are like
and fatally wounded.
They're not even running. They're not even like cowering and running away and screaming in fear. There's like, okay, well, they did it. We got our shots. Okay, is this guy done? Oh, shit. Well, okay. Well, we brought the white.
It's called shock, you fucking idiots. It's called shock. Anything that happens, I mean, like, holy shit, guys. If you live in Florida, I have an opportunity for you. If you want to earn $100,000, let me know. Jesus fucking Christ.
Flags. We can put that over the bleeding part, assuming he got shot in it, actually, right?
A flag.
And then this guy.
I guess it's the Joker.
This one, I think that's Destiny. It says Destiny down there. This is another huge one. Absolutely huge. So, not as big as Hassan Piker. However, this guy's name it's getting up there as well. You can see him in a lot of things, and it's more of the same. They are different on stances and whatnot, but this is it.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Flags. We can put that over the bleeding part, assuming he got shot in it, actually, right?
A flag.
And then this guy.
I guess it's the Joker. Let me guess.
Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning. Like he's literally, this is his last term. So I think that people are a lot more radical.
It's hurt poor people that they can afford housing in Berkeley. I don't know how that works.
Well, my understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Very sane dialogue. Very cool. I mean,
So again, if you really want, go look for 10 seconds before, 10 seconds after. It doesn't get much better, right? These are the influencers that they led to this kind of rhetoric, this kind of talking, this kind of influence. It's what causes action like what happened, right? This is why I was saying I want to bring you back towards this side so that you don't end up spouting shit like that, right? It's absolutely insane. So the next video, I'm going to give a little bit of context there. Cenk Uygur, he is, again, the uncle of the guy that was like killing in the streets, right? Yeah, he's the uncle. And he shares a lot of the same views. He has been coming back a little bit. However, I'm not sure if it's performative or not, because a lot of the things I've been seeing have been going back that way. Because there's things with him that I agree with and are absolutely reasonable. And it's just, then there's other things that show that he's not that reasonable person at a lot of times, right? So I don't know. Piers Morgan, if you don't know, if you have time and want to throw something on, he's been doing very good since he started this Uncensored. He used to be like European liberal, yada yada. But he is, this guy is like pretty center on most things, especially now. And he's been doing very good. But I want to showcase this as this guy, Cenk Uygur, is going to get a small taste of his own words, literally. And you're going to see his reaction in like even just the thought of what his own words can do. So,
as somebody who used to identify quite happily as a liberal, I found myself completely disassociated from the woke left in a way I just never thought possible, where people on supposedly my side would start to become science deniers, biology deniers, but also develop this incredibly hateful mindset that if you didn't go along with everything that they believed, you would be cancelled, you'd be destroyed, you'd be shamed, you'd be vilified. And now, as we've seen with Charlie Kirk, you will actually be murdered in cold blood simply for having opinions that they don't like. It is, as I said at the start of this, it's unnerving. It's quite scary, actually. And when you see those TikTok videos of them so proudly talking about this, joyously celebrating a murder like that, I really do fear about what is going on.
Well, Piers, it's not even that it's about his actual opinions. It's about the opinions that many thought leaders on the left purport that he has, which are complete lies. So look, I am in somewhat of a reconciliatory mode here. So I'd like to ask Cenk, I have 10 headlines here he has put up about Charlie Kirk. They are on his channel right now, and let's see if Cenk believes that these are true. Charlie Kirk says prominent black women took white people's spots. Charlie Kirk boasts about his all-white basketball team. Charlie Kirk gives piggish advice to high school girls. Ex-employee exposes Charlie Kirk's grift. Charlie Kirk embarrasses himself. Charlie Kirk's brain melts explaining anti-vax conspiracy. Charlie Kirk rants about women in their 30s. Charlie Kirk has literally no clue how the real world works. Charlie Kirk gets triggered, declines appearance over pronouns. Charlie Kirk doubles down on women-hating backlash. I am telling you, Piers, Charlie Kirk was one of the best human beings I ever met. He did not have a bone of racism, misogyny, or anything else in his body. But liars lie, and they gin up otherwise good people. From the little bit we know about this shooter, he had a stable household, he was going to college, he was fine. We'll find out where he got radicalized. But please, please, let's not pretend we don't know where this stuff is coming from. And please, let's not pretend that this thing is going both ways, because it is absolutely not. I also have Well, you know what, Cenk? I'll ask you a question directly, actually. Do you think Charlie wanted to be martyred? Do you think Charlie wanted to be martyred? Do you think Charlie wanted to be killed? Yes or no?
Of course not. What kind of asinine question is that?
You don't? You don't? Because that's pretty interesting. Because here's a video of you, Cenk, talking when Charlie was at a breakfast.
It allows for easy martyrdom for these guys, and they don't deserve it. But I do also want to point out, as they're in the middle of crying now, although Charlie was smiling ear to ear throughout the entire video, thinking, yes, I'm now the victim, and I'll get to claim that my rights have been
infringed. Did you catch the beginning of that, Cenk? Listen, we'll do it again.
No, I didn't, and that's totally out of. No, we're not going to do it again. Totally out of context. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
No. Listen, brother.
Are you trying to get harm
for
on
1
me?
second.
Is that what you're trying to do,
clown.
you loser? Jesus Christ!
No. I'm trying to
do
expose
conciliation.
exactly
Except
what
this
people
guy,
like you
look at the
have
last
done.
two things of your last two guests.
Piers.
Jesus,
what they said was, yes, we should have reconciliation, but it is not without any contrition, right? It's not without a mea culpa. Charlie was accosted by Antifa at a breakfast in Philadelphia, and the video that I just played is you with a cartoon of him as Charlie Brown saying that he would love to be martyred so he could be the victim. Well, I guarantee you, his wife, who now doesn't have a husband, and his kids who don't have fathers, did not want him to be martyred.
What you just played isn't what
It's exactly what you said, brother. It's exactly
what you just said it was.
Let's do it again.
No, it isn't.
We just
heard it. We just heard it.
It's not?
All right, so
it's not?
no,
let's do it again.
Cut this crap out.
Come on,
no,
we'll do it again.
Piers, can we talk about reality? This is something he's going back to like 10 years.
Well, I think Cenk should be allowed to respond.
What I said there.
And they don't deserve it.
It allows for easy martyrdom for these guys, and they don't deserve it. That was when Antifa was going after him at a breakfast in Philadelphia.
So let's let Cenk respond to that.
No, that was about words, you moron. Okay, Jesus Christ, man. All right, so now let's get to reality, okay? Shut up.
There's a massive loss here on a human level of a very bright, successful young man who, like you said, he didn't smoke, he didn't take drugs, he wasn't a party guy. He was committed to his beliefs, and he was committed to, spreading the word of his beliefs, but also allowing people to debate with him about those beliefs. That's what a democratic society should be about. And yet here he is now, dead at 31, because somebody was incapable of listening to his beliefs without wanting to kill him.
Yeah, Piers, look, this is a guy, I don't talk about it that often. I happen to be gay. It's not a big deal. I've been married for over 10 years, and I've sat with Charlie and my husband and his wife and talked about marriage and talk about the differences there and all of those things, and we talked it out. That's what Charlie was great at. I do have to say, though, on the political side of this, for where this conversation has got heated, it seems to me that everyone agrees that Donald Trump is not Hitler and his supporters are not Nazis. So with that in mind, I'd like to read some other headlines. These are video titles from Cenk's channel. And if in the spirit of reconciliation, maybe he wants to delete these things. Trump cuts anti-Nazi program. Trump spreading Nazi propaganda. Nazis encouraged by Trump's Charlottesville response. Trump defends Nazis, very fine people. That is the biggest political hoax ever. Trump retweets a neo-Nazi again. Trump disappoints neo-Nazi supporters. So these things don't come out of nowhere. I only blame one person at the end of the day for these murders, which is the crazy person who does the murders. But pretending that what is wildly asymmetrical, I think I have laid that out with evidence here, pretending that it's symmetrical is deeply, deeply dangerous. Piers, you know this because we've discussed it on my show. Even on your show, you have found it way more difficult to find rational, decent people on the left who will explain themselves thoughtfully and calmly and everything else, while the panoply of people you get on the right who shouldn't even be on the right, I would say certainly someone like me, I don't know exactly where Batya considers herself, but people with a variance of political opinions that now broadly are part of the MAGA thing is because of what I just read you, the endless hysteria of the left that has ginned up people to do crazy things. It's not to say you can't say the worst things. You want to say the worst things? Donald Trump's a Nazi. It's so tough to say. You want to say that? Go ahead and say it. It falls on the person who pulls the trigger. But if we're all sitting here saying, yeah, it's not true that Donald Trump's a Nazi and it's not true that his supporters are Nazis and he's not Hitler and all of those things, well, then before you get to reconciliation, a little bit of a mea culpa by some of us might be valuable.
Cenk?
Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is disgusting. So this guy pretending to do conciliation,
You're
and I
right.
was going to be conciliatory towards Dave if I spoke first, but apparently that's not what he's doing at all. So what he's trying to do is get people angry in a misleading way against me. Are you trying to
Are
get
those
people
your
to be
titles?
violent?
Are those the titles
this
of your
is
videos?
disgusting.
No.
So no.
that's-
Let me explain.
no.
Let me explain.
Those are your
so,
titles.
No, let
buddy.
me explain. You're asking me a goddamn question, so let me explain while you're trying to get people to do violence against
illustrating
me.
my point
You're
perfectly.
disgusting. So those are 80% of those
I just
titles.
said-
I've never called Trump a Nazi, and those titles were about neo-Nazi reactions. So what do you want us to do? Not tell
So
you
very fine
what's
people.
actually
Did that
happening?
happen?
And
Did
so
Donald-
look,
Did Donald Trump side with neo-Nazis?
Yes, he
the
did
very
say
fine
that.
people incident
So-
in Charlottesville?
So
he,
as
no, he did it. Piers,
we've
how about you
explained
handle
on the
this
Young
one instead of giving it
Turks-
to me?
So I feel like I need to show, because I have had this one happen a lot. And if you're with me and you think that he sided with the Nazis and whatever, let me show you the full clip of what he said. Let me see. I should be able to find it pretty easily. Find people on both sides. Full clip. Let's see.
Premises on the same moral plane.
I'm not putting anybody on a moral plane. What I'm saying is this. You had a group on one side and you had a group on the other, and they came at each other with clubs, and it was vicious, and it was horrible, and it was a horrible thing to watch. But there is another side. There was a group on this side, you can call them the left, you've just called them the left, that came violently attacking the other group. So you can say what you want, but that's the way it is.
It's on both sides, sir. You said there was hatred, there was violence on both sides.
Well, I do think there's blame. Yes, I think there's blame on both sides. You look at both sides. I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either. And if you reported it accurately, you would say.
So I want to skip to it, but I'm not sure which part it's at. So bear with me.
Charlottesville. They showed up in Charlottesville
Excuse me.
to protest.
Excuse me. They didn't put themselves down as you, and you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group. Excuse me. I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name.
Robert E. Lee are not the same.
Well, no, George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down, excuse me, are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him? Okay, good. Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner. Now we're going to take down his statue. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly. Now,
When he was saying that, every time that argument has been brought up, I remember seeing this happen live. And this is the full clip. Context matters. Oh my God. So, everything that he was just talking about, and he is defending, and you're about to see his full reaction, is based on a falsehood. And it's either one of three things, like I keep saying. Either you're ignorant, this man is not. You're not smart enough to understand the dude's smart, or you're being an asshole. It right there. Let's continue.
Can I just talk? So this monster is trying to egg on violence.
What did Donald Trump say after very
and he
fine
won't
people?
even let
I'm
me
not
talk.
talking about the neo-Nazis or the white supremacists who should be condemned completely. It's the biggest debunked conspiracy theory of all time. You're still pushing that now? You're still pushing the very fine people hoax now? I'm shocked even for you.
Dave, no. Dave, shut up and let me answer your stupid question. So on that day, which now we're going back to that for no goddamn reason other than you're trying to get people angry at me for.
So the reason that he's going back to it, if you don't understand, is because this has been, it's not just one or two events. It has been a buildup and a buildup. You know, it takes 100 different things to come together for one outcome, right? And that is one of the major things. And it's been pushed for so long, and there's been so many people believing that. And if you're watching this, you should know right there. I watched the Young Turks for years that they purposefully aim their words and narrate situations in extremely biased fashion against conservatives, leaning in general. Notorious for this pattern, and his yelling and screaming is a common tactic he employs. Absolutely. You probably weren't in it for earlier, but I was showing clips of Hassan Piker, you know, his nephew, and the things that he was saying, calling for the spilling blood of, you know, I don't really remember the words that he used. I'm pretty sure it was conservatives, but he might have said something else. Just go back a few minutes and you'll see. And Cenk Uygur, the last few months, he's been pulled back. I thought. And he is also one of the loudest voices on that side, right? But what Dave Rubin is trying to say is you've been saying these things for so long, and now you still don't want to take it back, but you also don't want to say that you had no part in what happened. The Young Turks was, and probably still is, I think they've fallen off a little bit, but they were one of the main central hubs of information. And it all goes back to before what I was saying. They were a central hub of information, and this man is the head of it. And you just saw it be debunked. And he's just skipping over it, saying that he's trying to have him cause violence with his own words. Come on, man. It's not that hard, right? Let's continue.
For misleading things.
I'm reading your titles. You should be angry at your titler.
He did. Shut up and let me answer. So did he say there are very fine people on both sides? He did. So that's a fact. Now, who was he referring to? As we've explained on the Young Turks, he might have been referring to the people who were in favor of the Confederacy and came out there to support Confederate generals. I didn't find that to be any better. Those people were in favor of slavery. Those people lynched black people. So I'm not going to ever cheerlead for them, and I'm not ever going to shut
Jake,
up
in the very next sentence,
So what you just saw, wow, haven't seen you in a while, Robert. Man, hey brother. So what you just saw is, it's not walking back, right? If you didn't recognize it, think of it as somebody in a relationship that got caught cheating, but it's your fault that they cheated, right? Yeah, sure, what I did is bad, but it's more justified than just bad. So, you know, I'm not completely at fault, right? And this is what happens a lot. And if you're coming in with, well, both sides do it, yeah, absolutely both sides do it. Not at the same degree. Not at the same degree. And if you still want to argue that, go back to last night's video. Watch the whole thing. If you didn't watch the whole thing, or if you're saying that, you probably didn't watch the whole thing. And if you did, let's have a talk. You know? Man. So, yeah, it's absolutely insane. Moving on. So, I want to play this. I know that this has been out for a little bit. I don't think a lot of people have seen it though, especially if you're coming to me for the news. You probably haven't seen this. And if you have, I think you're going to be okay hearing it again anyways.
Shot down and he was barely 31. Another woke coward took a life with a gun. He left behind a wife and a daughter and a son. All he did was try to speak for all of us. And I'm so tired of the hatred and the narratives. The patriots ain't dangerous, woke people are the terrorists. They shot and killed the father, sent a message to Americans. They ain't gonna stop until they bury us. Dear Charlie, I don't know if you can see us now, but if heaven has a window, I sure hope you're looking down. Cause we ain't going quiet, we gon' scream your name loud. And you're gone, but I swear to God that we gon' make you proud. We ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties. And you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good men try to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us, the system is failing us. When good men die for the things that they say, and I can't just be quiet. So I gotta be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day. Killed in cold blood for having a discussion, and liberals are celebrating murder like it's justice. You didn't kill a villain or the evil that it comes with. You killed a father and a husband. And I'm so tired of the left and all the wokery. We can't get along if you just kill us when we don't agree. Sniper rifle fire from a liberal that no one sees. Scared I might be next to die when I'm just buying groceries. Charlie, we'll make sure your children know that defending all our freedom is why you aren't coming home. I hope heaven has a window you can watch your children grow and hear your message echo from below. And we ain't backing off or giving up, I'll preach what you taught me. They may have killed a soldier, but that man had an army. This is far more deep than some political parties. And you can't kill freedom, so this one is for Charlie. This ain't the America that all our parents love, but good men try to keep making it great. Pray that God will take care of us, the system is failing us. When good men die for the things that they say, and I can't just be quiet. So I gotta be brave, cause this is America. Lately it's scaring us, but one good man can change it all in a day.
If for some reason my video gets muted or something, because apparently that's a thing, go check out Tom McDonald's Charlie. It's good. So, don't worry too much about this whole whatever, right? The video that I'm going to show you is since the shooting, the political assassination of Charlie Kirk, something has awoken in so many people. I mean, that's why I started doing this, right? And I finally got off my butt. And this is the bare bones, but if you're watching me right now, you're watching me from the beginning. I'm gonna try to do better for you guys. I'm trying to get better every day, a little bit. This, if you don't know how widespread this is, it's absolutely insane. Watching this, you're gonna see. It's unbelievable.
Streets of London are flooded as people around the globe mourn Charlie Kirk. The latest estimate from the London police is 110,000 people. However, multiple news reports say that there are over 1 million people present, with some reports going as high as 3 million. Of course, many in the mainstream media stateside are already trying to delegitimize this rally, painting it as a far-right anti-immigration rally, but when you take a look at the footage that's coming from social media or any of the people live streaming, it's just filled with people chanting Charlie Kirk's name and holding many posters and signs with his picture on it. And so I think it's really clear what this is really about. This protest was organized by Tommy Robinson. Here is just one of the clips coming from the ground.
So, for context on this, right? The European Union has been going through an identity crisis the last few years, and it's been building up every single day. It is absolutely insane. They've had so many people, had people arrested for standing outside of abortion clinics. They've had people arrested for posts. And what I mean by that is what's really gotten them to start building up. And as of the last month, a comedian had, I think he was in the United States, made some posts on Twitter that were funny. And then he went back to Great Britain, I think. And as soon as he got there, they picked him up and they arrested him. They arrested a comedian for his tweets that he made while he was in America, and that started an uprising, right? And by uprising, protests, not riots, protests. And ever since this political assassination, something's awakened. Something's awakened, and it's absolutely insane. So you're seeing a lot of people right now in these videos that probably were never out before. Some, sure, but not like this. So, and that's what this whole video is. A lot of these countries, if you're not paying attention to the news and everything, I think it's like Nepal just brought down their government through Discord. Just tons of things. Erica Kirk's speech, like what you're saying. I guess we can pull that up here in a second. Probably a good one. It was phenomenal, and it sparked a fire in a lot of people. I think I'll play that speech next. It hurts. It really hurts. But I wanted to give you guys, if you don't know, context on this, because if you're watching me for the news, you probably don't know.
In another section, they broke out into song as they were marching down the streets. As you can see, it's just packed shoulder to shoulder as far as the eye can see, just going down for at least a mile. Now, like I said earlier, the mainstream media here stateside, they're already trying to demonize all of these people. According to NBC News, tens of thousands joined far-right rally in London where Charlie Kirk is being mourned. And then the subtext here, the Unite the Kingdom rally comes amid a surge of nationalism in the UK, the rise of a far-right party topping the polls, and the murder of American conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Now, Over in India, they're also talking about this. Charlie Kirk's death sparks London's biggest far-right rally in decades. So this quite clearly is a flashpoint, not just here at home, but all around the world. In fact, Maori men, who are the indigenous peoples of New Zealand, performed the haka for Charlie Kirk. The haka is one of their ceremonial traditions, one of the most sacred traditions that they have.
If you know about the haka, I think it's the haka, and a lot of people have been doing it for reasons that don't matter. If you do know about it, instead of just watching it, look at how clean these guys do it. They really tried hard on this one. The effort shows. It's really cool. So, if you don't know what that is, to my understanding, let me see if I can explain this. To my understanding, it is basically, think of it as a pre-war, or it's a warrior celebration. And to, again, all to my understanding, them doing that shows that they have accepted him as a warrior, and it may not be on the battlefield that most of us think of, like guns and fighting and blood. Obviously, guns, fighting, and blood. And they gave him the ceremony to honor him as a true warrior. That is my understanding of this. If I am wrong, please let me know, but that's, actually, why not we just... Traditional symbolizes strength, unity, and cultural identity, often performed to honor guests or celebrate significant events. Deeply rooted... Yep. War dance. Intimidate opponents and boost their own morale before battle. So, I think my description is correct. And if you're paying attention, that was clean. That was really well done. Also, I want it to be known that the entire point of this, I guarantee that most of these people and most of the people that we've been seeing and everything like that don't agree with everything. But the man was so good and kind and nice and strong that this is what you get. It's phenomenal.
Vigils are also being held all around Spain, and I would just like to point out the left and the Democrat Party, they like to say that Republicans are racist, Republicans don't like minorities, yet we saw there the Maori men, and then in Spain, large crowds are coming out all around the country. And look, I get that Spain is part of Europe, obviously, but I do think that there's a lot of question as to whether they're culturally considered white. But take a look at this vigil in Spain. When you see all of these people around the world coming out to mourn Charlie Kirk, that really tells us the impact that Charlie had wasn't just among us.
Proves that men and women from multiple cultures appreciated the actions and voice of Charlie, love it, and no, they absolutely don't agree entirely with him. They are mature enough to see the value in what good they did see in him. Exactly.
Americans, but really was on a global level. And I think a lot of that is because people at a core level can relate to and, you know, are experiencing the exact same things that Charlie was talking about, that our beliefs are under attack, that freedom of speech is a right that we need to cherish and that we need to fight for. And so obviously what happened was horrific, but if there is a silver lining in all of this, I think it's that people are rising up, people are speaking out, people are making sure that this sort of violence is not condoned, but is rather condemned, and people are taking steps to make sure that this doesn't happen again, and that people are fighting back and saying, hey, we're not going to be victimized, we're not going to be marginalized, we're actually going to take a stand here, and you guys, being the left, can't bully us into silence, can't bully us into submission. And I think that's why so many people are coming out, even though they're not American. There also, quite frankly, is a religious aspect to all of this. Charlie Kirk obviously was a Christian, but before his death, there was the shooting of Annunciation Catholic Church, the Catholic school in Minnesota. And so there is this feeling, and there is a trend of Christians being attacked here at home, in Europe, and before this huge march today that's happening in London, last night there were actually prayer vigils where Christ is King. A chant broke out all across the city.
Christ is King! 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 Christ is King!
On top of all of this, one of the largest marches is happening right now as I'm making this video. It's actually happening in South Korea, where the people are chanting, "We are Charlie Kirk." Yeah, just incredible footage coming from around the world. I would not be surprised if this continues to spread and catch on like wildfire. Now, it's one thing for people to organize these vigils and demonstrations and marches, and obviously I'm not trying to diminish any of that because this is powerful and people are coming together, people are mourning and also celebrating the life and gift of Charlie Kirk. But what's also powerful is it's not just these vigils that are being organized. There are remembrances organically, spontaneously happening just in everyday public life. So there's this artist, I actually never heard of him, but his name's Gavin Adcock, and in the middle of his concert, the crowd spontaneously just started chanting Charlie Kirk.
Jesus loves every single one of you in this place tonight.
Obviously, just people all around the country, all around the world have been moved and affected by Charlie Kirk's life. You know, everyone keeps talking about the irony of Charlie Kirk being shot right as the guy who was debating him asked about transgenders and gun violence, right? And I mean, obviously, that is ironic in a way, but to me, the larger irony is that the assassin was attempting to silence Charlie Kirk. He was attempting to put an end, or at least a road bump, on this movement. And if anything, he seems to have poured fuel on.
So, about the whole getting shot as he was answering a question on trans shooters. One, the guy who was asking the question, he looks pretty shell-shocked from it. Believe him. I don't think he was part of it. Don't, like, if you're thinking, oh, it's a grand conspiracy, I wouldn't. I do think it was just happenstance. I do find it funny that the shooter, as the question was being asked and he was about to defend violence from that community, somebody who has a boyfriend in that community shot him. It's absolutely insane. Like, what's the coincidence, right? It's insane.
On the fire, and he's created countless more Charlie Kirks who are speaking up in their everyday lives, who are standing up for what they believe in, who are standing up for free speech, standing up for religion. And it's, I think, inspiring to see all of these people coming out here. Now, this is beginning to terrify the left. That's not just something I put in my title. And a lot of online influencers, even those who traditionally have in the past voted for Democrats, are saying, whoa, something is happening here. There is a tide shifting. But before I get into that, I would like to acknowledge Shannon Miller, Bart Denny, Bob Paul, SMDB 6 Foot, USMC Carr, and Dave Dunville as the members of today's Governor's Club. These are people who give tips and super thanks to the channel. I am so appreciative and thankful for you, and I'm glad that you enjoy.
Just a side note, I see like a bunch of different things going on. I can't tell who's in or what. If you just want to drop by and say hi, I'll know you're here. I have so many different things telling me different things. I have no idea what's true because my setup is still not right. So I'm trying, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, again, the left has long believed that they have had a monopoly on race. Obviously, last year, President Trump made inroads, historic gains among Hispanic voters, Black voters, Asian voters. And it appears that that trend is continuing as more and more minority influencers are saying, we're actually waking up to what the left has been doing because of this Charlie Kirk situation.
Man, I'm going to go ahead and say it, dog. Hey, Democrats, man, y'all cooked, bro. I'm talking about, man, I be looking at my news feeds, man. I posted that shit out, black and white conservatives coming together. Man, I had Asians coming in that thing. Latinos coming in that thing. I even think I seen like an Armenian American. Blur, listen, man. Cooked. Y'all cooked. Extra crispy. No batter. Y'all might want to just start all the way over. Like, just go ahead and sit out for these little 20 years. Let the people get back, back where they want to be. And forget that y'all snakes, and then y'all try to sneak back in. But as of right now, the Latino community, Asian community, Black community, white community, Romanian community. Dog, I done had Filipino Americans in my inbox telling me they with it too. It's over.
Filipino Americans represent. If you are one, leave a heart down in the comments section below. But I think, we've just been seeing more and more videos like that going viral. And when you see the reaction of the left, MSNBC or MS Now, whatever the heck they're called now, when you saw their hateful reactions in the immediate aftermath, even before we knew the status and Charlie Kirk's condition, they were already demonizing his legacy and just spewing lies about him on air. You see the people, professors, the PR people apparently for Apple, you see them celebrating online, and it really draws a line in the sand, and it makes people question, what side do I want to be here?
Okay. The main point of that video was to show the impact of what's going on, right? I don't need to watch the rest. It's pretty insane. The move, I've been seeing a lot of videos of that, but this one is what I could find that kind of brings it all together. Something has absolutely woken up. I think with that, oh God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Okay, we're doing this. I want to go. God. If you have already seen this, I'm sorry. But I know people haven't. If you don't know, this was his chair, and they left it open for his show, and his wife's about to speak. His wife is awesome, man. I can't even imagine. So, yeah.
Jesus. Fill this room. Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life, and the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon. I want to thank the officers who have protected our Turning Point USA family these past 2 days. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy, for all their work in these terrible days to be the stability for our family and for the wider Turning Point USA family as well. My heart is with every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend and a mentor. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from this studio, this chair. Every day he loved it. He loved what he did. I want to thank the millions of people who have shown their love for Charlie here in Phoenix, across America, and worldwide. I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well bringing him home. You both are tremendous. I want to thank President Trump and his incredible family for the same. Mr. President, my husband loved you. And he knew that you loved him too. He did. Your friendship was amazing. You supported him so well, as did he for you. 2 days ago, my husband, Charlie, went to see the face of his Savior and his God. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith. And one of the final conversations that he had on this earth, my husband witnessed for his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now and for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side, wearing the glorious crown of a martyr. Charlie loved life. He loved his life. He loved America. He loved nature, which helped him always bring him closer to God. He loved the Chicago Cubs. And my goodness, did he love the Oregon Ducks. He'd want me to say go Ducks, so I have to since they play on Saturday. So go Ducks. But most of all, Charlie loved his children. And he loved me with all of his heart. And I knew that. Every day I knew that. He made sure I knew that every day. Every day he would ask me, how can I serve you better? How can I be a better husband? How can I be a better father? Every day. Every day. He was such a good man. He still is a good man. He was the perfect father. He was the perfect husband. Charlie always believed that God's design for marriage and the family was absolutely amazing, and it is. It is, and it was the greatest joy of his life. And over, he would tell all these young people to come and find their future spouse, become wives and husbands and parents. And the reason why is because he wanted you all to experience what he had and still has. He wanted everyone to bring heaven into this earth through love and joy that comes from raising a family. It's beautiful. Charlie always said that if he ever ran for office, I know a lot of you asked if he ever was going to, but privately he told me if he ever did run for office that his top priority would be to revive the American family. That was his priority. One of Charlie's favorite Bible verses was Ephesians 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. My husband laid down his life for me, for our nation, for our children. He showed the ultimate and true covenantal love. I will never, ever have the words to describe the loss that I feel in my heart. I honestly have no idea what any of this means. I know that God does, but I don't. But Charlie, baby, I know you do too. I know you do. So does our Lord. And our world is filled with evil. But our God, you guys, our God is so good. He's so incredibly good. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. Already I have seen the worldwide outpouring of love for my husband. I've heard the testimonies from people my husband inspired to get married, to start families, to seek out a relationship with God. It's the most important one of all. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. My husband's mission will not end, not even for a moment. And one of Charlie's greatest talents was his ability, this phenomenal ability to choose great people to follow him. He could always find the ones who could handle any setback. And it's almost like he knew. He could see it in you. Even when you couldn't see it in yourself, he just knew. He knew you could handle it. You thought you only had 5% left, and he knew you had 15. He knew you were ready to go that extra mile even when you didn't. He always challenged people around him to work harder and to be better. He never gave up. And I love knowing that one of his mottos was never surrender. So I want to tell you that we'll never surrender. We never will. Ever. Ever. Our campus tour this fall will continue. There will be even more tours in the years to come. America Fest here in Phoenix this December will go on. It will be greater than ever. The radio and podcast show that he was so proud of will go on. And in a world filled with chaos, doubt, and uncertainty, my husband's voice will remain. And it will ring out louder and more clearly than ever. And his wisdom will endure. My favorite too, but my husband's favorite word in the English language was earn. He would call all of you to be people of action who earn the future America deserves. So to all of the young people who felt inspired by my husband's faith and hard work, all of you already know what Charlie would want you to do. You know. You know. If you're in high school or if you're in college, go find your local Turning Point USA chapter. Join it. Stay involved. He wants you to make a difference. And you can. You can. The movement's not going anywhere, and it will only grow stronger when you join it. If there isn't a chapter, you can't find one, then start one. There is no excuse. You can start one. And as my husband used to say in this room, every single day, if you want to get involved, the best way you can do that is going to tpusa.com. That's what he would say every day from this chair. Every single day. I watched his show every day, and he would always say, if you want to get involved, go to tpusa.com. If you're a pastor, join our movement at TPUSA Faith. And if you're a parent, I highly recommend that you come to America Fest in December. Sign up right now for that because we would love to see you. I would love to see you. Charlie would. He'll be there. He'll be there in spirit. Bring your kids, bring your family. But most important of all, if you aren't a member of a church, I beg you to join one. A Bible-believing church. Our battle is not simply a political one. Above all, it is spiritual. It is spiritual. The spiritual warfare is palpable. Charlie loved his Savior with all of his heart, and he wanted every one of you to know him too. He wanted everyone to know that if they confess the Lord Jesus Christ who rose from the dead, then they will be saved. Hear me when I say this, nobody is ever too young to know the gospel. Nobody. Nobody is ever too young to get involved with saving this beautiful country, this country my husband loved and still loves. And nobody is ever too old either. There's no age limit. I know my husband is still here. He's watching over us. I don't remember the last time I slept. I couldn't sleep last night. And Charlie, baby. Charlie, I promise I will never let your legacy die, baby. I won't. I promise I'll make Turning Point USA the biggest thing that this nation has ever seen. I promise. Oh, Charlie, I love you. I love you, baby. Rest in the arms of our Lord as he blankets you with the words I know your heart always strived to hear. Well done, my good and faithful servant. When I got home last night, Gigi, our daughter, just ran into my arms. And I talked to her and she said, Mommy, I missed you. I said, I miss you too, baby. She goes, where's Daddy? What do you tell a 3-year-old? She's 3. I said, baby, Daddy loves you so much. Don't you worry. He's on a work trip with Jesus, so he can afford your blueberry budget. And my goodness, am I so humbled to witness, Charlie, you alongside Jesus right now, doing what you always want to do, baby. Making heaven crowded, right? That's what it's all about. Making heaven crowded. I can't wait to see you again one day. Thank you all again who love my husband, who supported him, who wrote him an email every single day during his radio show. He read all of them. All of them. God bless you all. And may God bless America.
Well, I've seen that a few times now. Every time I watch it, I pick up a little bit more. The second time I watched it, my soon-to-be was with me, and she wasn't doing too good, because you know that could have been you. That this is what I have to look forward to if you keep doing what you want, what you're wanting. But you still got to do it. I don't remember exactly what she said, but that's pretty much what she said. You still have to do it, because if you don't, they win. Hence why I'm doing this. That one hurts, man. That one really hurts. This video just popped up on my feed. It's pretty insane. I don't know where they made it, how, I have no idea, but this one got to me quite a bit, so,
Woman asked AI, what would Charlie say right now?
First, I want you to know I'm fine, not because my body is fine, but because my soul is secure in Christ. Death is not the end, it's a promotion. Don't waste 1 second mourning me. I knew the risks of standing up in this cultural moment, and I'd do it all over again. Second, do not let this violence divide us further. The enemy wants chaos, fear, and retaliation. Don't give it to them. Instead, double down on truth. Double down on courage. Double down on your faith and on your families. That is how you honor me. Third, remember this. America is worth it. Free speech is worth it. Fighting for the unborn, for families, for sanity in a culture gone mad, it is all worth it. So dry your tears, pick up your cross, and get back in the fight. Do it with joy, do it with strength, and never ever let evil think it won.
That's exactly what he'd say. This young woman.
Again, I don't know what program that would be or how. It's absolutely insane that AI, it sounds exactly like something he would say. It hurt. Yeah. I don't even want to show this one. It's basically Trump saying things, and then this guy's taking that out of context. More and more of the same rhetoric. I'll play this one for a little bit and see how it goes, because it's starting to get late.
The very same people who've been behaving in this way, effectively supporting a terror group, have gone out of their way to deplatform and shame and cancel anyone who, mainly on the right, it has to be, so on the conservative side, who've deviated from their worldview. So free speech to them seems a very complex issue.
No, that's right. And look, I mean, we have to be disciplined in how we advocate for dialogue and free speech. And when I go to these college campuses, it's come very clear, and you see this now manifesting in some of the larger censorship regime that is taking over the West, that if a young student finds disagreement with a conservative or somebody on the right, they don't just find the ideas objectionable. Some, in fact, a majority by a recent Pew poll, want to use force to try to silence and stifle and even censor those differing ideas.
I mean, how prescient, Batty, those comments seem now, because that's exactly what has happened here. What's your reaction to Charlie's murder, and how do you feel about the way things may go from here?
Thank you so much for having me, Pierce. It's obviously still very raw for a lot of us. I'm finding myself very caught between, on the one hand, wanting to honor his legacy of unity through debate and coming together to take down the temperature, and then wanting to honor his legacy of telling the truth. And the truth is, this is not a both sides issue. The killer killed him, according to police reports, because he found Charlie Kirk to be spreading hate. This is a view shared by every single prominent Democrat. Yes, there are people on Blue Sky advocating for violence, but what actually caused this was the utterly quotidian, utterly ubiquitous demonization of the political opposition from the left. And it has just led to violence because they said the other side were Hitler and Nazis. They said that speech is violence. To combine those two things together is to sign the death warrant of prominent conservatives. And that is what we are seeing again and again and again. And it is utterly facetious to suggest that there is any comparison between political violence on both sides. Every example they bring is not actually showing that, whether it's Governor Shapiro, whose attempted assassination was from a Free Palestine leftist, or whether it was the Minnesota assassinations, which were from somebody who said he was operating at the behest of Democrat Governor Tim Walz. There is a culture among Democrats at the highest level to suggest that their political opposition are a danger, and that suggests that their lives are forfeit. And I want to come together. I do. I love what Shank said. It brought tears to my eyes. I had to reach for a tissue while you were playing Charlie's words. But at the same time, we cannot unite with people who are lying to our faces about who we are, who will not take responsibility for the fact that they suggested that we are Nazis because of totally legitimate views that reflect the majority of Americans. So what I say is, let the left say we were wrong. It is legitimate to vote for Donald Trump. It is legitimate to be pro-life. It is legitimate to believe that there are only two genders, and we were wrong to suggest that that was not the case. We were wrong to say that that is hateful. When they say that, I am waiting with open arms to take down the temperature.
Lewis Goodall, you are on the left, and the one thing that's really struck me about this, I don't dispute for a moment that there are people on the far right that commit a lot of acts of violence and can be equally hateful. That's my personal view. But I have been truly shocked, genuinely truly shocked, by the sheer enormity of brazen, dehumanized calls on social media from people on the woke left, the sort of far left, which has been calling themselves progressive, but in my view are the opposite. But how they've reacted to Charlie Kirk's death, we've got a little mashup of some of it.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. We think that Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Hey, ooh, ah, ooh.
I would say pour one out for Kirky boy, but I don't waste good beer on little bitches.
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a fucking dog in Utah, and I could not be happier.
I will not ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
Fucking stoked right now. You wanna know why I'm so fucking stoked? Fucking yeah!
CK got AK'd, and he's gone.
He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights.
We got Charlie in the neck. We got Charlie in the neck.
There are hundreds, thousands maybe, more examples like this. But we've seen teachers, we've seen hospital executives, we've seen people who want to run places like the Oxford University Union, for example, and so on, all coming out with similar gleeful celebration at the murder of a 31-year-old father of two young children. I find it utterly despicable, but also quite terrifying, actually, that they're so brazenly doing this. What is your reaction to that?
Well, Piers, my reaction is that I think it's reprehensible. And I think it is part of a much wider pattern of behaviour, driven by partly social media, but in particular the hyperpolarisation of American politics, which is part of a big trend of legitimising violence, of making violence an acceptable means of prosecuting your politics. Where I would disagree, possibly with you, possibly with other members of the panel, is that this is somehow just confined to the left, or the idea that this is just happening on the left. Yes, there have been examples of that. We've just seen it just now. I was disgusted at
like we were talking about yesterday, whataboutisms. And no, it's not the same.
the reaction to what happened with Luigi Manzioni earlier in the year. Very similar sort of phenomenon.
Yeah.
But let's see where it's happened in other parts of the right. Do you remember what happened with Paul Pelosi, for example? Nancy Pelosi's husband, almost killed to death. What was the reaction of not just some random left-wing accounts, not some teacher, not whatever, but Don Jr., Donald Trump Jr. He decided to put out a picture of a hammer and some underpants and say, I've got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume tonight. This is the wider legitimization of violence that we're seeing. And let's just have a look. I mean, you know, let's talk about some accounts that I've been looking at. You've been horrified what you've seen on Twitter, some stuff I've seen on Blue Sky, some stuff I've seen on X over the course of the last 24 hours. Liberals can never be allowed to run this country again. How can you coexist with people that want to murder you? If you vote Democrat at this point, you're a demonic, evil person. I will support whatever saves our country. Trump has a blank check as far as I'm concerned. I could go on, I could go on, and I could go on. And I could give a list.
I feel like he's trying to equate those comments to everything else that we've heard, like spilling the blood, absolutely insane.
Of all of the many occasions we've seen in recent years of right-wing, hard-right, far-right terrorism that we saw against what happened in Minnesota. I mentioned Paul Pelosi, Josh Shapiro. In fact, I disagree with just as a matter of fact. Investigators found in the Shapiro case online activity and writings that included extreme right-wing, anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and rhetoric against Shapiro, who is, of course, Jewish and a Democrat, and in Michigan. And even in the last 24 hours or so, what do we see from Laura Loomer on Ilhan Omar, the Democratic Congresswoman, Laura Loomer being a very senior MAGA person? At the end of the day, everyone needs to realize that Ilhan Omar is a bloodthirsty Muslim terrorist sympathizer who has no place in our country. Her presence in Congress is a national security threat, and she's an enemy from within. So please, the idea that there is some sort of asymmetry on this, the fact of the matter is, America and indeed the UK as well, we've got into a really negative cycle here, where basically the temperature goes up, and it goes up, and it goes up. And then sometimes some of the people who are responsible for that turn around and go, God, I can't believe it's so hot in here. Everyone needs to pull back from the brink. Social media needs to actually be reformed and needs to be changed. Elon Musk has been pretty responsible for some of this stuff that we've seen as well. So let's not pretend. If we pretend...
Yeah, enough. He caught that. He was talking about Musk buying Twitter, and now he's partly responsible because he allowed free speech. The reason that he bought it is because of the censorship that was going on that allowed the more violent and more extreme, but not the people that are trying to dial it back. Receipts are there.
That this is just a problem of the left or of liberalism or of wokeism or whatever you want to say. This problem is not going to be any better or get any better. Let's use this as a moment for all of us to look within ourselves and decide to be better.
Okay, well, we've been joined on the panel by...
He's also saying that because if you were watching earlier the video with Cenk Uygur, people like this are now worried that they're going to get what they've been advocating for. He's worried that the things that he's been wanting to have happen to people like him are gonna happen to him. This is Cenk Uygur. He was sweating earlier. I'm not sure where that is in this video. This is the entirety of it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's at the end of this video that we watched earlier.
My PBD podcast, Angry Patriot, Vincent Oshana. Vinny, great to have you back on Uncensored. I'm sorry it's in such awful circumstances that we're talking on this Friday. But your response to what Lewis Goodall's just said, that this is a problem on all sides, that political violence has been ratcheting up and that there's a collective...
He's just going to talk about what I just said, so I think we can move on. Here's something that a lot of people are advocating for. If you don't know, this is Asmongold. Again, if you're watching me for the news, you probably don't know who this is. Hi, Dad. So basically, long story short on him, is he was one of the biggest gaming streamers. And then once politics started creeping into games, he started talking about politics. Now he is the biggest political streamer. A lot of people say that he is extremely far right or anything like that, but he is an old school Democrat. This is not a problem on all sides. Statistics, one side is far more combative. Just saying. LML, also Asmongold, I love you so much right now. I love Asmongold, I really do. The dude has so much money, but he lives poorer than most other people, and he has a clean perspective on most things. He tries very hard. He does really well, and he felt like he had to come out because normally he streams like 24/7. He's been taking a break to deal with family issues, and he came out because of everything that's going on. And with the videos that we just watched, I'm going to give you a small snippet of how the right is truly responding. And again, I'm okay with it because if you are unprofessional in a professional position, you probably don't need that job. We've been dealing with this for years. I have had my own issues with it that I'm not going to get into on stream. I have had a lot of issues with it, and I knew I was right, but I still needed to shut up and keep going. So I'm okay with what you're about to see. If you don't know about this, if you're not okay with this, but you were advocating for the same thing, I'm not gonna feel bad for you. Now, if you watched my video yesterday and now you're seeing the difference and you got pulled back even just a little bit, you should be able to understand why we are okay with this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm loving watching all of this.
Hi guys, it's me again, and today we're going to look at some of the interesting users on, you would never believe it, Blue Sky. That's right. And
for context, Blue Sky is a lot of the extreme left ran off of social media because their views were too extreme for a lot of people. And then so they made a new app, a new site so that they could go onto it. You can, I guess, kind of equate it to, I think it was like Truth Social or something like that, where the conservatives that were the same moved over to that. But I'm talking about like the extremes. Yeah. So, for context.
I don't know how this keeps happening, but yesterday, after Charlie Kirk was brutally murdered, he was shot in the throat, bled out on stage in front of everybody, including his own family and his children. The number of people in the games industry who decided to go on to social media, particularly Blue Sky. A lot of these people, you have to understand that many of these people have already been run off of Twitter because there's a level of discourse and negativity that they can't really deal with. So the only place that they can really exist is on effectively a reservation like Blue Sky, where their opinions are protected and they're allowed to be vitriolic and nobody's allowed to tell them that they're wrong. Well, that's why we're making this video. We're going to be looking at some of the different people that, after the death of Charlie Kirk, decided to, and I'm not really going to be going through, everybody is going to draw the line at a different place. Here's where I draw the line. I personally have a big problem with people that are celebrating him being killed. I don't have a big deal if somebody says I don't like him or I never liked him or something like that. But for the people that are celebrating for him being killed, advocating for future violence, and saying that it's a good thing, I think that's what crosses the line for me. And I think that's what crosses the line for any reasonable, normal person. And so anyway, we're going to go through a number of people. And the first thing I wanted to start out with today is that maybe you guys remember this from the beginning of the year. It was a big content year, I would say that. And people might have forgotten, but there is a person who decided to advocate for killing your local MAGA. This was a Blizzard employee. And I want to say that after the video that I made on him and a lot of other people made on him, this person lost their job and effectively has ruined their life. And I want nothing more than for the exact same thing to happen to the people in this video too. So I hope that after you guys see these individuals and you see what they're advocating for, you'll be able to go out and tell their employer, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm not comfortable funding a video game that is employing people that are advocating for the brutal murder of a person in front of their family. And it's absolutely insane, but it's also not surprising. And so anyway, we're going to go through some of these. Obviously, I put out a post about this before. This was yesterday, if you guys want to make a list, and this is something I'll go ahead and just contextualize it all. So there's several game developers that are liking posts that are people mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination. We'll look at pretty much who these people are. We'll start off with this. These are people, Dennis. Let's look at this, and this is also on Blue Sky. I'm 6'5" and Vans, Blue Sky Social, sound effects associate at Bungie. So Bungie.
So for context, the reason that he's bringing this up is because the gaming industry is so huge. I think God, it's worth looking up. Gaming industry net worth. So the gaming industry is $286 billion. Now let's look for comparison. So games make about 3 times the amount of money as movies. So a lot of people that, if you're getting your news from me, you are probably thinking that movies are bigger than games. You're wrong. The games industry is so huge, which means that it has that much influence, right? So the reason that this matters is because a lot of the people that he's bringing up are the creators of these games. And what we've been seeing is the political messaging has been inside of these games for so long, right? And so it's time to weed them out. This is why games aren't even fun anymore.
Bungie, you know, the game that's trying to make Marathon, I guess they were too busy. Oh, he's doing sound effects, not visual effects, so maybe he actually has to.
And for the older generation that doesn't fully understand, let me try to put it like this. The kids are more influenced by this person than an actor. They are more influenced by this person than The Rock. And this is no one that you even know. You'll never hear their name. You don't know who they are, but they are going to put their motives and their beliefs, and I can, for another time, I can easily show you exactly what I mean. Comment, I was far left for so long. The left is what turned me right. Me and plenty of others have jumped from left moderate to conservative. Yeah, it's a growing trend. It's insane.
To do his job rather than just copy pasting something off of Twitter. But anyway, you've got somebody like this who's advocating for, and again, people might think that it's not a big deal. Oh, well, these people aren't making these statements themselves. These people aren't really saying anything that is that extreme. Here's the reason why it's a big problem. The reason why is because it creates an ecosystem and an environment where the actual extremism and the actual radical behavior is feeling comfortable. It feels comfortable in an environment where you have this blasé, passive acceptance of it, and you have people that are just basically complicit with it, but they're not openly saying it. They're just privately doing it, or they're just privately voicing their support as well. And, well, I guess in this case, it's not private anymore, is it? And so anyway, we have a associate producer at Bungie who is liking and promoting tweets that are celebrating the death of a person being shot in the neck in front of their family and bleeding out profusely on the stage in front of millions of people. And so good job, Bungie. Really good winners you've got here. I can't wait to play Marathon. I thought that my expectations for the game couldn't be lower, but somehow Dennis has managed to fulfill, or exceed those expectations, you could say. I've got another one also. Kelly, senior producer at Sucker Punch, amateur cosplay armor, D&D enjoyer, source of corgi pics, they and she. Okay, so we have also, and you're going to see this word, this term, Sucker Punch, a number of times. We're not talking about the action, but we are talking about the company. This is the company that makes the game, or that is making the game Ghosts of Yotai. Ghosts of Yotai, and this is also important to keep in mind, is that the voice actress for the game, for the character itself, has gone multiple times on record making the most deranged, stupid comments like defunding the police. She's just your typical like libtard, insaniac, moron, retard, right? It's not really that complicated, but what it really indicates is that there's a culture in this company and there's a culture in this environment where this type of radical, violent behavior and language is normalized. You have multiple people at the company that are all saying these things, and we're going to get to the other ones too. This is another person here also that works at the company, and so you can see right here, obviously.
So, that punching Nazis till I die, right?
And we're going to get here also.
This is something that I've seen a lot of, and it goes back to what we were talking about yesterday, the punch a Nazi. Again, if the context was correct, all for it. It's absolutely... They're delusional when they're saying, I'm going to punch a Nazi in the face, because what they really mean is the moderate to conservative, and they're going to attack you, and it shows. In the 80s and 90s, the adults that the children are our future. Yeah. 2015 to 2025, this is my phone's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, OnlyFans, Twitch, Reddit. Yep. Is the new future. Charlie Kirk, over 1 billion views of all of his videos combined over the last year. Everyone born after 9/11 is more online influencing everything we see on our social media for our news and resources. Do you genuinely think we'll log into some sort of civil war? Okay. So this is a very good question. We said the children are... Sorry, voice to text. Okay. So the question is, do I genuinely think we will have some kind of civil war? I think it happened a while ago. However, when I say civil war, us Americans think that it's going to be like battle lines, the North versus the South, things like that, right? The true civil war for us is cultural. And we have been losing for a very long time because the conservatives, we will take the hit. We keep taking the hit, and we have taken the hit for way too long, and we elect the wrong people, and we elect people that we think are going to do something, but they just keep letting it happen. They keep compromising back. So the you have 100 yards and you compromise to the 90. Now you have 90 yards. Okay, well, instead of trying to compromise back to the 100, we compromise again and go to the 80. So now we're losing ground. They have 100, we have 100, and we start moving, yes, the US. So, and just so you know, I see comments like maybe 15 to 30 seconds after you put them. That's what it looks like. So, I hope I answered your question. If both sides have 100 yards of land each and we keep compromising, the compromise goes into the left's favor and has been for a very long time. As long as I have been alive, 31 years. It has always gone in their favor. So compromise, we go down to 95 and they have 105 feet of land, yards of land, right? And then, okay, come back to the negotiating table. All right, now we compromise again. Now we only have 90 and it keeps getting smaller. And we have been to the point where now we are at about 20 yards of land left. And now they've got the 180. They have all that, and we have that. And that's how it has been for quite a long time, and it's just been getting exponentially worse. So that's where this is going on. And now you're seeing because we only have the conservatives are backed into a corner, and we have been for a while. That's why Charlie Kirk got such a strong following. We felt like we were backed into a corner, especially the children that felt that way. The kids that were going through public schools, they didn't feel like they could talk. They didn't feel like they could be themselves. And they straight up, they were shutting down until Charlie Kirk came into the picture. He gave them the voice and showed them that it was okay to be conservative. It's okay to feel this way. Because especially with the rise of social media, which the left is so strongly organized. They're so quick on doing things, and they're so loud. And conservatives are so sheltered. It is literally like when you picture a teddy bear, the really big guy that you can punch on him and do everything. It doesn't really hurt until he's had enough. And then you go, uh-oh. And then it goes back to that first video that I showed of the little kid throwing the ping pong paddle at the bigger kid. And the big kid finally had enough. So he throws the table, and the kid starts crying and screaming and running, right? So to answer the question, a civil war. I am afraid that we are going to see small skirmishes. And by that, I mean maybe small groups, and it'll look like the same as either mass shootings or gang violence or onesies, twosies, you know? And it's probably going to be just more people had arguments, and then they try to find each other in the street, whatever, I don't know. And it's going to be more of assassinations. And that sucks. I don't want that. It's not going to be like a civil war, what North and South, what we would think, because that was what our civil war was. It's going to be a completely different shape than what most people expect. Hence why I'm doing this. I'm saying the things that I am, because I don't want that. And we are so close. That anger that I felt when I saw the video, it got me close to going over that edge. And if I got close to going over that edge, I know a lot of other people already did. And a lot of people aren't wanting to talk like I am. A lot of people aren't wanting to say, well, this is your last chance. This is why last night I was saying, hey, give me one last chance to try to change your mind so that you can come back to the table, because if I can't convince you, because I feel like people like me are the last chance people have to have some sanity in this. 100% could see small fights, riots, burnings of protests, shootings of political individuals, but full-blown war I highly doubt. The far left makes up a tiny part of the population. If you remember Chaz in Seattle, I saw that, and Portland. That was also a brief political movement of people rebelling against what they viewed to be fascist conservative government control, and they couldn't maintain it for even a month. 2 weeks in control, they couldn't handle a civil war. I think, so a big difference in the extremes is that like the extreme far right is here and they're completely denounced. And then on the left, it's bigger and they're not completely denounced, right? That's one of the major concerns that I have, right? That Chaz Chop instance, I think things change once the bullets start flying. Because if you remember, the one in Portland lasted quite a while. And when it comes to any trends, I watch Portland. And I saw that one myself. Not fun. So, I just want to bring that up because of the punching Nazis. A lot of people think that is, it is, I'm Antifa, I'm ready to punch Nazis, you should punch Nazis too. what is called coded language. And that is basically, it sounds good in the face, but it's not what you mean. And a lot of people fully believe that, but the meaning that they are saying and the true intent are two completely different things.
So that works at the company. And so you can see right here, obviously this is them retweeting or posting something that they did with the game. And then right after that, I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back. And I've been noticed that Twitter has noticed me from I've been told that Twitter has noticed me from across the room. Well, we certainly have. We absolutely have. And I think that these kinds of comments are absolutely disgusting. This is a person that works at a massive game company, and they're openly advocating for on public platforms and promoting and celebrating the murder of a random person. This is disgusting. It's really disgusting. And in my opinion, I don't think that it should be tolerated. And that's the reason why I'm making this video. I think that everybody should try to message anybody that works at this company, anybody who, you know, like any sort of PR, any management, you know.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, let me pull up what I think the Civil War would look like. There's this. Where things like this. This is what, if you are advocating for civil war, this is what you're actually advocating for. Things like this. Minneapolis school shooter. Shot up a church, killed children. Israel ambassadors. I think it was, yep. It's things like this. It's a load. Killed a couple. If you don't know, Israeli ambassador and his wife. They were staff members at the embassy. They were killed outside an event, and the guy was yelling "Free Palestine" as he was getting captured. Right, free Palestine, yada yada yada. I'm not even sure if they're gonna say it. Talking about the dead, and you know that this is just for working there, and it's all part of that same ideology, right? This is what the Civil War looks like. This is why I'm saying it started a long time ago. It's not pulling up, but the Trump assassination attempt, multiple. That's what it looks like. It's not going to be what everyone thinks. It's going to be events like that.
You know, anything like.
But I think you guys get the idea. He's going to. Most of these people, from what I know, have been fired at this point. And I'm completely okay with it. Goodbye. So, this is something I do want to bring up because of the whataboutisms, right? So,
USA!
So why do I bring that up, right? When it comes to a lot of things, like the George Floyd riots, they burned down cities, and this went on for so long. A lot of people died. And here's what the whataboutisms, right? You're probably going to see this as people trying to justify what happened. See, the right does it too. Let me turn this off. If you pay attention, one swing thrown, and you are seeing people immediately trying to break it up and hold this guy back. Right? People pull him back. People are trying to pull each other back. And mob mentality just starts taking over, but you're seeing a lot of people try to hold each other back. You don't see that on the other end, right? And the reason that they're going to bring this clip up is because there's not many examples to go off of. There's another example of a guy getting thrown into a fountain. That's it. But there isn't much. There's not much. So that's I think this went on longer than I thought. I think after this, the next few streams should be more of a hangout, probably games or something. Games, talking and questions and pull up videos. Who knows? So thanks for hanging out. Stay safe. Love you all. I think I need to find a good outro.